We're going to pick up with Act 1, Scene 4, and notice that it takes place in the royal palace. Here we go. King Duncan is speaking.
Is execution done on Cawdor? Are not those in commission yet returned?
My liege, they are not yet come back. But I have spoke with one that saw him die, who did report that very frankly he confessed his treasons, implored your highness pardon, and set forth a deep repentance. Nothing in his life became him like believing it. He died as one that had been studied in his death, to throw away the dearest thing he owed as 'twere a careless trifle.
There's no art to find the mind's construction in the face. He was a gentleman on whom I built an absolute trust.
Go ahead and look at these last two lines here, 13 and 14a. This is important because Duncan had once closely trusted this MacDonald who betrayed him at the beginning of the play. This is important to set up a character trait about Duncan and the people around him, and that he is easily trusting of others. This particular link isn't working here, so I'm going to keep reading. Duncan keeps talking to Macbeth and Banquo as they enter, and he says, "Oh, worthiest cousin, the sin of my ingratitude even now was heavy on me. Thou art so far before that swiftest wing of recompense is slow to overtake thee. Would thou hast less deserved that the proportion of both of thanks and payment might have been mine. Only I have left to say, more is thy due than more than all can pay." Look at that line here. Duncan, the king, is grateful to his people, his subjects, for defending Scotland. Macbeth responds back, "The service and loyalty I owe, in doing it, pays itself. Your highness's part is to receive our duties, and our duties are to your throne and state, children and servants, which do but what they should, by doing everything safe toward your love and honor. Welcome hither. I have begun to plant thee, and will labor to make thee full of growing." Notice here he calls Banquo, noble Banquo, "that hast no less deserved, nor must be known, no less to have done so. Let me enfold thee and hold thee to my heart. There, if I grow, the harvest is your own." Picking up here with Duncan.
My plenteous joys, wanton in fullness, seek to hide themselves in drops of sorrow. Sons, kinsmen, thanes, and you whose places are the nearest, know, we will establish our estate upon our eldest, Malcolm, whom we name hereafter the Prince of Cumberland.
Underline that he has just named Malcolm to be the next king.
Which honor must not unaccompanied invest him only, but signs of nobleness like stars shall shine on all deservers. From hence to Inverness, and bind us further to you.
The rest is labor which is not used for you. I'll be myself the harbinger, and make joyful the hearing of my wife with your approach. So, humbly take my leave.
My worthy Cawdor.
Okay, now notice this next part. It's an aside, which means Macbeth is thinking it to himself. And he says, the Prince of Cumberland. If you go back to that line we just underlined, he's talking about Malcolm, is a step on which I must fall down or else overleap. He's considering that either A, I have to bow down to him, or B, I have to overtake him. And he says, for in my way it lies, in my way of becoming king. Stars, hide your fires. Let not light see my black and deep desires. He knows becoming king, that desire is not a good one. It's evil. The eye wink at the hand, yet let that be which the eye fears when it is done to see. And Duncan says, true, worthy Banquo, he is so valiant, and in his commendations I am fed. It is a banquet to me. Let's after him, whose care is gone before to bid us welcome. It is a peerless kinsman. Again, Duncan's oblivious to these thoughts that are in Macbeth's head, and he completely and utterly trusts him.